So the question this video answers is, what are the mechanics of intuition? How do you recognize what's intuition and what's not? First of all, this part has to do with data input, and it also and then in the subsequent one, I'll give you because I have to draw the picture. I'll give you how it all works. I'll try to. Anyway, three strengths. This comes out of research done by HeartMath Institute. A lot of this intuitive research has been around forever. Many years, and so it's just kept the emphasis, because the emphasis is on what we think we know. We don't actually understand intuition quite to the extent that we should, especially when working with complexity, especially when working with uncertainty and what is unpredictable, which is today's world at the moment, particularly the volatility. So there's what we most often associate with intuition is experience. You know, you've got a lot of experience, you've seen a lot of things, and automatically this is all stored in your subconscious. That is what the experience that certainly the fire chief story, the fire story from Gary Klein, his work in naturalistic decision making, speaks to, which is the whole business of a fire happening and his men are on the floor. This is a story that was written up in Fast Company years ago, but it's also easily Googled easily Googled, period. So, but anyway, the fire chief got on the floor, looked at the fire, and called his men off the floor. And the minute they stepped off, the whole floor collapsed. Now, he didn't understand why he did that. But realistically, your intuition is a pattern spotting machine. It is spotting and watching for patterns. It's running them through at lightning speed, saying what's the same, what's different. And because this fire wasn't burning the way most fires do, he knew something was wrong, something was off. So the fire in this case was burning from underneath, not from where they thought it was. And that snap decision, that decision before he had time to think it through, was what saved his crew's lives. So that's an example of experience. In other words, in intuition, the more experience you have, the more inventory you have of what worked, what didn't, what conditions did it work, what didn't it work, and I'll explain that in another video. The second dimension of intuition is energetic sensitivity. And what that speaks to is just you're taking in information all the time, whether you're aware of it or not. Anybody that's highly sensitive knows this, because you feel completely overwhelmed most of the time, and you're taking on other people's emotions, you're taking on what's going on in the context that you're in as well. So you're reading a lot or absorbing a lot of data that your mind is not capable of registering at all. So energetic sensitivity is the pool of data that you get where you're just getting social, emotional, timing, all kinds of information and data. So that is something that many people would identify as empaths or identify as highly sensitive would recognize this as being their domain, very strongly so. We are always an expression of all three of these. It's not a department store, so it is an interaction and an integration of these three things, so at different times. And the third area is the non-local. Best example of non-local is in a farming situation. I mean, there's other examples, but here's one. There's a farming situation. Wife's at work and she's got a feeling that there's something wrong. She needs to go home and she's not sure why. There's no clear, rational explanation for it. So she goes home and finds her husband pinned under the tractor. The heart connection seems to be the resonance for this. So you know something's going on for somebody that you care about somewhere else completely. You might phone them up and they go, "Oh, I was just thinking about you." And it'll be because there is this resonant connection between you. So non-local intuition is very useful for long distance kinds of communication, and it's a transference of data over time and space. So those are the three strengths of intuition. And in the center of all of this is pattern recognition, because intuition is a cognitive process. It's not woo-woo, it's not fluffy, it's a cognitive process taking vast amounts of information, processing them at lightning speeds and registering them before it hits your mind. Once it's hit your mind and you sort of go, oh, I can think about this, yeah, it's too late. Then you've moved it into the conscious mind department. and normally by this time, if you're waiting to act on it, it doesn't matter. So you can use your intuition for, obviously it excels and shines in high speed, highly dynamic, not enough information, high stakes situations. That's where intuition shines, but it also can serve you in business decisions, in day-to-day decisions. Is this the right job for me? Is this the place where I should be? Where am I safe? Where am I not? Those kinds of draws to a particular environment are what your intuition can serve you as. And I can give more examples, and I will in subsequent videos. But meanwhile, I hope this one helped give you some sense of what you've got inside as your own internal technology that's really, really powerful and useful in a world that's very unpredictable, subject to chaos, and you have the best compass available in your intuition, as long as you spend some time getting to know it, trusting it, learning, experimenting, building up your data, and finding out what are the conditions where you hear it most clearly. So it's attuning more to the inside using these outside signals. Hope that helps. Please do all the wonderful things like, share, and if this video provided you with some support and you'd like others to know about it, it will certainly help me. Thank you.